From Laval Stadium on the campus of Stony Brook University, it's a Saturday morning senior day. Joe Spallina's group looks to keep the good times rolling on Long Island, 34 straight on the North Shore. And for the first time in program history, they'll tango with the Tribe from William & Mary. Thanks for making us a part of your Saturday morning. Join alongside Kylie Oldmiller, I'm Johnny Wincott. Undoubtedly a hungry Stony Brook team. They come into the contest losers for the first time in nearly 9 years against a non-ranked opponent. The 2-2 mark for William & Mary so far this season. They played above expectations.
William & Mary has been 0-10 in the CAA for the last 2 years, so they've really turned things around this season at a 2-2 record heading into a big test today against an undefeated Seawolves team in the CAA.
It is senior day for Stony Brook. They'll celebrate 13 Seawolves. We will key in on a junior, though, in Jaden Hampel. Career best now, 22 goals on the season with one against Rutgers.
Jaden Hampel is one of those players who can really provide a spark when Stony Brook needs it. She can balance out the scoring threats on the left side in Kaylin Hart and up top with Ellie Macera by attacking from behind. And she'll be looking to add to her 22 goals on the season today in today's contest.
For the Tribe, it's been a rather balanced offensive attack most of the season. We're keen on a freshman, Marisa Moyer, hat trick in the 10-9 win against George Washington earlier this week.
Marisa Moyer, number 17, is a player that played a big role in the Tribe's comeback win over this past week. This offense holds a really balanced group of dodging threats, and with Moyer's goals on the season so far, she's going to be someone they'll look to for some finishing against a tough Stony Brook zone defense today. Tribe
in a four-way tie for third place at the start of the day. First ever meeting between Stony Brook and William & Mary comes up next on Lacrosse TV. Oh, yet another senior day for Joe Spallina and company. Glad you're with us from Laval Stadium. She's Kylie Oldmiller. I'm Johnny Wincott. The 6th-ranked Stony Brook Seawolves, a hungry team looking to get back into the win column. 3 losses this season. They had wins after each of the first 2. Joe Spallina, 184-36 in his 12th season with Stony Brook. We noted it's been about 9 years since Stony Brook lost to an unranked opponent. It happened earlier in the week to Rutgers, 12-7. How do they respond?
Yeah, I think Stony Brook's a great team that knows how to respond after they lose, and a lot of credit to that coaching staff right there, really making sure that they're sharp heading into today's contest. Heading into a new conference this season, they're in the CAA for the first time this year. They want to stay undefeated as they head into a big contest today with William & Mary, a team they've never seen before, but also heading into the ending weeks of the season, heading into the CAA tournament and beyond.
Talked about it a little bit during our broadcast open. The William & Mary Tribe picked to finish last in this 8-team conference. Well, all they've done since is go 7-6 with a 2-2 mark in the CAA. The first 2 wins in Colleen Dawson's tenure with William & Mary, now in her 4th season. So no CAA wins in 3 years, now 2 in 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's definitely a team that's turned it around. It's been really exciting to watch as just a fan of lacrosse, right? To see a lot of these teams and these programs finally getting the success that they've worked for in the last couple of years and beyond. So, and a special shout out to these seniors that you're seeing out there for Stony Brook. Coach Spallina starting an entire crew of seniors, recognizing 13 of them today, 12 of them getting the start.
A lot of those seniors, familiar faces in a Joe Spallina starting lineup, but some of them maybe not as familiar. It will include the likes of Lexi Correa, Lindsay Rongo in the back end, a typical starter for Stony Brook. Mackenzie Mitchell, a senior defenseman, and Stony Brook looking for their 10th win of the season. They have not had more than 3 overall losses since the 2009 campaign when they went 16-5. They start this game at 9-3. Do not want to overlook a very dangerous William & Mary team, 4-0 in 1-goal games this season. But the big one next week for Stony Brook down at Towson, the 2 undefeated teams at the start of the day in the Colonial.
Towson definitely a team that usually gives Stony Brook a good contest as well, that typical Long Island, Maryland rivalry that we'll see in that game heading into next week. But some business to take care of today for Stony Brook, coming off of a big-time loss, a loss that a lot of players and people out there did not expect them to lose to Rutgers earlier this week. So I'm sure that team right there in that huddle has had a lot to talk about the last couple of days and how they can be better out there on the field as a team in different areas, doing the little things right, and just kind of getting back to Stony Brook lacrosse.
Now, one of these things is not like the others. 3 losses this season against number 1 Syracuse, number 3 Northwestern, unranked Rutgers. So again, a 12-7 finish earlier in the week for Stony Brook. Joe Spallina's group looks to keep the good times rolling here at Laval Stadium. 34 consecutive wins, almost 4 years since Stony Brook dropped a game on their home turf. 2nd longest active home winning streak in the country, only to North Carolina. Colleen Dawson getting her crew ready. We noted in her 4th season, a 16-32 mark with the Tribe. None better than this year, though. With a 7-6 mark, they eke out a 10-9 winner against George Washington earlier this week. Second half shutout. That is not easy to do. They trailed 9-5 at halftime. They were winning 10-9 at full time.
Definitely a team that has seen a lot of incredible leadership from Colleen Dawson. She won a national championship with Maryland back in 2010. She coached at some incredible programs in Loyola and St. Joe's. Now she's here at the helm of William & Mary, and you could tell she's doing a great job at just getting this team together and, you know, in that win column for sure.
We told you the Tribe have thrived this year in close contests. They've played 2 overtime games. They won both of them. They've played 4 one-goal games. They've won all 4 of them. So they'll be trying to stick close with Stony Brook, the team that typically thrives here at home. William & Mary in the road blacks with green and gold trim. Stony Brook, per usual, in their home white uniforms, navy blue numbers with red trim. Let's do it. Game number 13 of the season for the 6th-ranked Stony Brook Seawolves. We'll see where that ranking will lie come next week when Monday rolls around. For now, the task at hand for Stony Brook, the William & Mary Tribe. And as we noted, first ever meeting between the two programs. You can watch the tape and do all the X's and O's in scouting. But these two teams have never seen each other.
I think that's important to note as well. And, you know, for Stony Brook heading into a new conference this season, they've seen a bunch of new teams that in program history they haven't seen before. And William & Mary being the one that gets to be on the other side of it today. But they hadn't seen Delaware too often early on. They hadn't seen Drexel too often early on. A lot of these CAA programs, other than Towson, Stony Brook hasn't seen too often in program history. So it's been a great test for them as a team to learn how other teams play and how the other teams attack their defense and attack their offensive end of things.
Charlotte Verhulst grappling with Ainsley Huizenga. Verhulst, one of the 13 seniors for Stony Brook, being celebrated this morning, soon to be afternoon. Earlier start of the season for Stony Brook. Let's do it. Ball flung to the right, picked up by the Tribe in the form of Caroline Hertzberg. And Hertzberg will navigate into the offensive zone. First look at the William & Mary offense, scoring just fewer than 10 goals per game this season. But 8 times they've scored at least 10, and when they do, they're good. All 7 of their wins this season, they've had double-digit tallies. Balanced scoring attack for this team with 7 players between 12 and 16 goals, but nobody more than 16 goals. Feed to the front, batted down by a cross. Stony Brook attempting to emerge at the 5-yard line, but it's William & Mary. Sarah Cipolla, who scored one of the 10 tallies against GW. 7 different goal scorers for William & Mary. She kept it alive. Inching closer, and the feed to the front, batted down by Ella Whitehouse.
Couple of different Stony Brook defenders on that play, getting some touches on some of those passes. Haley Dillon on the initial knockdown there, and Ella Whitehouse getting the second one, eventually able to pick it up. William & Mary looking like they're in a settled kind of ride here, a little bit of a zone ride, which has been something that Stony Brook has, in some games, been really successful at, and in other games struggled with quite a bit, is beating that ride. So a first successful clear for the Seawolves.
Stony Brook went scoreless over the final 18 minutes and 17 seconds against Rutgers. Had a goal late in the 3rd quarter. They were held scoreless in the 4th quarter in the 12-7 defeat. Undoubtedly a hungry Stony Brook team. We told you the 2 losses prior this season responded with big, easy wins the next game. Room for McQuarrie. Center point dishes to the left. Here is Verhulst. 8th all-time, Stony Brook draw controls. She is their leader again this season. Verhulst attacking the net near side. Double team, got rid of it. Now it's with Kaylin Hart. Shot clock at 15. McQuarrie, feed to the front. Bounce shot, it's in. Morgan Mitchell finds twine. The scoring drought is over for Stony Brook, and they draw first blood here at home. It's 1-0.
Morgan Mitchell on the cut, something she does so well. Just recognizing that shot clock is kind of running down in this possession. Stony Brook hadn't had a great look at Cage until she finds that opening on the off-ball opportunity. She cuts right through 2 defenders that weren't quite paying attention to her. And Erin McQuarrie, with her head up, as you see here, steps in, draws a little bit of attention. And Morgan Mitchell, just an incredible finish at being able to control her stick by kind of pulling up on her follow-through there. If she finishes that follow-through any stronger or any farther, that could have been a yellow card. That could have been a dangerous follow-through call. But just an incredible amount of stick control there by number 15 to be able to kind of hold that in and make sure that she was able to finish without getting a foul.
Stony Brook immediately off the draw control. And Charlotte Verhulst will escort that into the offensive zone. So right back at it, looking for goal number 2. We told you the Tribe kind of a balanced attack, 7 players between 12 and 16 goals. Morgan Mitchell is not Stony Brook's leading goal scorer. That was her 27th of the season. And she has points in every game of the 2023 campaign.
She's definitely been a player that Stony Brook has looked to for a lot of momentum on the offensive end of things this year, as Kaylin Hart takes a hard hit, but also a charge call, heading the other way with William and Mary.
Tribe looking to counter. And they are swiftly into the offensive third. Crossfield pass taken in by William and Mary's points leader, number 29, Sam Van Giesen. 16 goals and 4 assists. Great feed right back to Van Giesen. And it's powered home, and the Tribe even it up at 1. 8th goal over the last 5+ games for Van Giesen. And a good response by William and Mary.
Another nice feed, a nice look inside, and again, just a nice control of the finish in order to make sure that she handles that ball inside, turns her body, and then is able to control her stick on the follow-through in order to not get a call for the follow-through. So as you see here, a little bit of that drive. She catches it with that right hand, and since she doesn't fully follow through, she kind of just dunks it right over the top of the goalie there. She's able to really capitalize on that shot. A nice finish by Van Giesen.
Team leading 17th goal of the season for the sophomore from Maryland. And just like that, we are evened up 1-1. Just over 3 minutes into the first quarter. By the way, we did note earlier start of the season for Stony Brook, 11 a.m., but we didn't really start until 11:15, 11:20. Rumors of some potential bus issues for the road team today. But all is well, and so far we've remained dry with not a particularly good forecast coming up.
Hopefully we'll be able to make it out of here dry.
We appreciate you sticking around here on Lacrosse TV. It's the first of 2 games at Laval Stadium today, 3 p.m. face-off between Stony Brook and 15th ranked Delaware. Blue Hens on the men's side, tops in the Colonial. Draw control win for William and Mary, right back into the offensive zone. I told you, a team that is used to playing close contests. 10-9 winners earlier in the week against George Washington. And 13-10 losers against Towson just a week prior. Lindsay Rongo, one of those 13 seniors, is all over the loose ball. Stony Brook will look to complete the counter.
Seniors all over the field right now. Joe Spalina making sure that everyone is getting some touches. Lindsay Rongo with the start on this fast break opportunity, and Lexi Correa kind of handling a bit of pressure, looking to get the ball back.
Safely controlled by Kira Agitella. Now with Verhulst furthered into the corner for Kaylin Hart. And you wonder what the loss against Rutgers does to Stony Brook in terms of NCAA tournament hopes. They've typically been a team hosting games. Obviously, they just like to get there. Quarterfinal losers last year against North Carolina. And a team that may be a little hungrier than they normally are at this point in the season, and it's usually a pretty darn hungry team.
Definitely a hungry team, especially heading into May. I think the message has always been to focus on one game at a time, especially as things start to get interesting and exciting. So one game at a time in this CAA is definitely the message that's going on this sideline right now. But it'll be interesting to see how that loss adds up for the future for the Seawolves heading into May.
Solid defense by the Tribe. And they have earned possession back. Stony Brook had about 15 seconds remaining on the shot clock. And William and Mary is going to complete the clear. Here is Van Giesen, 12 meters out. Great cross-field feed. That was the freshman Kate Dratty who took it in near side goal line. And now William and Mary safely setting up their X's and O's. Tribe are 5-2 over the last 7 with the losses against Towson and Drexel. Battle continues in the interior, and this will go in favor of the Road Tribe. And it looks like our first free position shot of the contest forthcoming.
Sydney Whitwer with the opportunity on the free position up chance here. She'll set up from the second inside hash.
12 goals on the season for Whitwer, and 13 makes it 13. The William and Mary Tribe have responded with 2 quick tallies, and they've got their first lead here on Long Island.
Off of the foul there, it was a crossbody check by Stony Brook's Haley Dillon. On the feed inside, those foul calls are going to be really important. Again, heading into these big games, heading into these close games, it's going to be really important for Stony Brook to control those fouls, be able to keep their teams off of the free position line, because as you see there, Sydney Whitwer just capitalizing on an opportunity. A great finish on the offside hip.
Whitwer, the freshman from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. First goal today, 13th of the season, 2-time U.S. Lacrosse All-American in high school. And Stony Brook looking to right the ship.
Stony Brook star Ellie Macera back on the draw circle here. A couple of changes as they head into a 2-1 Tribe lead.
Draw control number 4. First contact from Verhulst and picked up by Ellie Macera. No points for Ellie Macera in the 12-7 loss against Rutgers. That is a rarity for the America East Midfielder of the Year, the preseason Colonial Player of the Year, who still does lead the conference with 46 goals, 55 points. Stony Brook out of the back 15. Rotates counterclockwise to the center point. Verhulst bridges the gap to Achatella. Now it's with Erin McQuarrie. Kaylin Hart gaining speed out of the corner. Roofs it far down. 31st goal of the season for Kaylin Hart. It's a big one. We're tied 2-2.
I love to see those lefties working together. Erin McQuarrie bringing the pick down to the elbow, knowing that Kaylin Hart's specialty is using her speed to get over the top side. You see Erin McQuarrie there just kind of getting in the middle of those 2 defenders, making her presence known, and making it difficult for those 2 defenders to really communicate and get their hands on Kaylin Hart. Kaylin Hart has just been known for that lefty coming over the top, low to high shot, and that was just an absolute beauty of one.
Kaylin Hart picking up where she left off against Rutgers. 3 goals. She had 7 shots, 6 of them on goal. First one today for the senior from North Babylon. We are even 2-2, nearing the halfway marker here in the first quarter. First ever meeting between William and Mary and Stony Brook. Seawolves ranked number 6 in the country at the moment. The Tribe, meanwhile, we told you, picked to finish last. 8th place in the Colonial, and they are right in the thick of things with only 3 weeks remaining in the season. Verhulst v. Huizenga, iteration number 5. And it goes to the Tribe, scooped up again by Hertzberg, the junior.
Hertzberg is a player that is on the defensive end for William and Mary, but is such a contributor on the draw circle in that draw unit for them. She led the team last year with 59 draw controls. She was a second-team All-CAA player last year. She is a big momentum player when it comes to the middle of the field for the Tribe.
Well, draw controls at certain points in the season have been an issue for Colleen Dawson's crew. Pass was deflected, some body contact outside the crease. And this is going to work for William and Mary. Sam Van Giesen will possess. She was the first goal scorer. Another look at the penalty.
The ball's passed in here. Some contact on both ends. You see Mackenzie Mitchell coming in, and at the same time, Sam Van Giesen turns to score. She'll get the free position opportunity.
William & Mary made good on a free position opportunity earlier. Van Giesen will reverse course and keep that ball rotating into the corner along the near side. Plenty of time to work with for William & Mary, 45 seconds on the shot clock.
It's a smart play by Van Giesen, just getting another opportunity at moving the ball around. Maybe she didn't like the angle that she had on that shot, but she'll get another opportunity here as it's passed inside.
Loose ball corralled by the Tribe along the near side goal line. That's the freshman Whitwer, most recent goal scorer for William & Mary. Halfway through quarter number 1. Inside the red paint, back 15, it's Whitwer. Trouty couldn't find anything along that near side, defended well by Rongo. Now the shot clock at 12 seconds. Tribe got to start moving. Pass down low, and it's going to go with Stony Brook. Call at the moment, Stony Brook possession. Although it looked like William & Mary may have been closest to that ball out of bounds. Seawolves will happily take it here in the 2-2 contest. 7 minutes to play in the first quarter.
Just getting a little bit of a restart back at the end line here. Referee is making sure everything's going off of a whistle start since there was some back and forth play there.
Well, Stony Brook looking to wrap up their Colonial campaign the same way that almost every America East campaign went, and that is with a bunch of wins. 64 consecutive conference victories for Stony Brook. It's the longest active streak in any college sport. 60 in the America East, the last 4 in the Colonial. And Joe Spallina's group will set up the offense on the right side of LaValle Stadium.
Seeing Jaden Hampel out there, number 11. Had a big day against Rutgers earlier this week. 22 goals on the season so far. She's setting up shot behind the cage right now.
Hart, great feed to the front, and the behind-the-back shot is saved. Charlotte Verhulst from close quarters. And Elise Palmer is up to the task. How's that for your first save of the afternoon?
That was a beautiful save. I'll be surprised if she isn't completely dialed in for the rest of the afternoon after that one. That is a beautiful first save. She saw that one all the way through.
And that is one that Palmer needed. Gave up 9 goals in the first half against George Washington, was yanked for half number 2. Marin Wilhelm put up the second half shutout. But it is the sophomore, not the freshman, getting the nod here at Stony Brook. 2-2, 5:30 remaining first quarter. It's been a good one so far in the first ever meeting between the Tribe and Seawolves. Another dangerous feed to the front, batted out of harm's way. And it's scooped up by Stony Brook in the form of Haley Dillon, the anchor of their defense.
6th-year captain Haley Dillon. She's actually the only player on the field that I played with 5 years ago. So that's a fun stat, but Stony Brook throws it away. She has been the anchor of a very solid Stony Brook defense and really is behind a lot of those caused turnovers in forms of those pickoffs, interceptions, and a bunch of the big-time plays come from number 23 in white.
Well, the interception came from the freshman Kate Trouty, and an immediate timeout by Colleen Dawson. So the Tribe will talk things over after gaining possession. Exactly 5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. And you'd have to think, if you're Colleen Dawson 10 minutes into this contest, pretty content with a 2-2 score and the way things have gone for the green and gold.
Definitely content so far. I think they're looking to continue to control the pace a bit. They have definitely been pretty even in terms of draw controls, and they've been pretty competitive there as well. And every time that William & Mary gets the ball on offense, they've done something with it, whether that opportunity is really capitalized on and they're put on the free position opportunity, or if it's just a great look inside that's capitalized on by the Stony Brook defense. So I think they're chatting about some more ways to make sure that they can make sure they put the ball in the back of the net. And on Stony Brook's end, maybe looking to start putting in some of those changes when it comes to starting 12 seniors on senior day and kind of spicing some things up when it comes to the lineup as we head into the rest of this first quarter.
Tip of the cap to our production folks, getting us inside the huddles there with Joe Spallina and Colleen Dawson. Our production folks who have remained dry so far. The clouds, though, growing larger, more gray and ominous as this contest has gone on in its 10 minutes. Something tells us this ain't going to be a dry one by the time we get to triple zeros. Anywho, though, 2-2 your score. Joe Spallina, the final talkings to here in the first time out of the contest. And although it's an early game, you start to get a sense next goal could be a big one for some momentum. Try and grab a lead by the time the first quarter comes to an end.
Definitely a big one. I think this, possession will be big as well. Stony Brook's had some great defensive caused turnovers so far. They've had some sloppy kind of clears as well. So just cleaning up the little things I think will be important. Elise Palmer on the other end had a massive save a couple of minutes ago on a behind-the-back shot from Charlotte Verhulst. So there have been some great plays all over the field so far in this contest, and I think it's going to be exciting to watch heading into the rest of this game.
Well, Colleen Dawson's group looking to pull off the upset of sorts today on Long Island. No opponent has won on this field against the women's lacrosse program since 2019. Got to go back to March, and it was the Florida Gators. So 4+ years since Joe Spallina's group has suffered a loss on this field. Justice Barber possesses in the red paint. That is the daughter of former Tampa Bay Buck Rondé Barber, and the niece, of course, of New York Giants legend Tiki Barber. For now, it's Stony Brook Seawolves legend Claire Levy. And she is turning on the Jets. Numbers for the Seawolves. Hart, serve is, doesn't like exactly what she sees, waits for white reinforcements. And Stony Brook will set up the more typical offense on the right side of the field.
Just kind of settling into some things. You saw Claire Levy running the ball up the field. She did that a lot earlier this week. She had to have put some miles on those legs. She definitely puts a lot of the defense in terms of clears on her back, and she and Jaden Hampel, who she's playing a little bit of two-man with right now, are really sparks on this team.
Hampel on cue. She sparks Stony Brook to a 3-2 lead. And with fewer than 4 minutes remaining in the first quarter, Stony Brook goes back in front on the 23rd goal of the season for the junior.
As you see here, Claire Levy coming down to set that screen. Jaden Hampel coming right over the top, and though she has a little bit of pressure coming from those sliding defenders, nobody truly commits to her, and she sees that lane, she dives downhill, and she is an incredible finisher, and she does exactly that, just kind of sparking that next goal, as you mentioned, Johnny, just kind of thinking about what's going to take the next team to, heading into the lead, and Jaden Hampel does that for Stony Brook many a time.
That is the 23rd goal of the season from Hampel, who last year was Stony Brook's assists leader. Filling out all the statistical departments, the junior from West Islip. 6 draw control, first 3 out of the first 5 have gone to Road, William, and Mary. Flung to the right, that's Ellie Macera's territory. Low pass for Verhulst. And Claire Levy, Johnny on the spot, recovers for Stony Brook, and now a chance at goal number 4.
Claire Levy, right place, right time. She does a lot of that in between the 30s work for Stony Brook, and she's seeing a bit of some offensive time as well so far this quarter. She's usually behind the restraining line on the defensive end, but just getting a little bit of some touches on the offensive end today.
Stony Brook at X, and player down. That is Morgan Mitchell down in a heap at the Stony Brook end zone. And Ellie Macera and company immediately signaling for the training staff. Oh, Morgan Mitchell, one of those 13 seniors being honored today, having, you could argue, it'd be an easy argument, best season of her Stony Brook career. Has a goal today, 27 of them on the season. Trying to get another peek at what happened here. It was actually Jaden Hampel who looked like she was the one to signal, hey, we should cut play here. Good sign, Mitchell to her feet. And a better sign, walking off on her own power.
Great sign. Looking as if it's a little bit more of a upper body rib injury. As a player, as a coach, as a fan, as a viewer, you hate to see players go down, especially on their senior day. So we're going to hope for the best for number 15. Great sign that she's walking off on her own.
So it's going to remain Stony Brook possession. 3:18 remaining in this first quarter. As Mitchell makes her way to the sideline, Hampel will be the one to restart. And so a good round of applause from both the Seawolves faithful and a good contingent of William and Mary fans that have made the trip from Virginia or elsewhere. Stony Brook right back at it. Quick passes along the center point, 15 meters out. Now it's with Galen Hart. Across the way for Jaden Hampel, our player spotlight. Puts on the moves, Hampel at the doorstep, couldn't put it home. Palmer got a piece of it. Second save for Elise Palmer. And William and Mary tries to take advantage on a good outlet pass to Paige Gilbert. Being hounded from behind by Massera, has it popped out of her cross. And now it's Stony Brook's turn again. Hampel with Hart on the right. And Hampel will peel out to the left, find reinforcements. Final 2:30 first quarter. 80 seconds on the shot clock for Stony Brook. They could wilt away at some of this first quarter time.
I liked that play there by Hampel. She was pushing and she saw a little bit of Kaylin Hart peeking out, but the trailing defense by William and Mary kind of recovered really quickly. So it was a smart play not to force that 2v1 that turned into a very fast 2v2. Kind of pull it into some more regular offense.
That was Verhulst, didn't get the shot off cleanly, but it looks like a penalty upcoming here on William and Mary.
Last two possessions, William and Mary has done a great job at crashing the second that the ball is inside the 8. Just getting some sticks on the hands of the players who are shooting and got in the way of Jaden Hampel's last shot and definitely got in the way a little bit of Charlotte Verhulst's attempt.
"13 goals on the season for Charlotte Verhulst. Charging toward Cage, she scores. Stony Brook has doubled up William and Mary here in the first quarter. A patient Charlotte Verhulst waiting, and depositing home for goal number 4.
A really important offensive play here by Charlotte Verhulst off the free position opportunity. Our natural motion as lacrosse players when we are shooting on the run is to go to the right here. And as you see, Charlotte Verhulst cuts across the middle and goes to the left. So she's kind of shooting back away from her body, which is, again, against our natural motion as lacrosse players shooting on the run, but really beneficial when it comes to a free position opportunity because she's protecting her stick away from those sliding defenders who are coming, to get a piece of that stick, to get a piece of the ball that she's shooting. So really smart play there by the senior.
Unsurprisingly, a lot of seniors here on senior day getting involved in the action for Stony Brook. And Verhulst, after scoring the goal, right back to the center circle for the draw control. 3-3 in that category today in this first quarter. Same two dueling with Huizenga against Verhulst. Sophomore against the senior. Verhulst powers through. Picks it up, charges into the offensive zone. Oh, there's a big difference maker. The draw control department, Stony Brook, nearing 58% on the season. William and Mary, meanwhile, at just 43%, 102 out of the 120 teams.
Good to see Morgan Mitchell back out there in the offense. That'll be a 3-second call there on the William and Mary defense. So it'll be a free position opportunity for Jaden Hampel, who had the ball when that foul was called. So she'll step up to the line here.
Stony Brook with 4 goals. They've come from 4 different goal scorers. Hampel's one of them. Charging toward Cage. She is shut down by Palmer. 3 saves in this first quarter for Palmer. They've all been impressive.
Very impressive. She's really stood strong in her cage so far. Her defense around her is doing an incredible job at really just getting sticks in the way. I think that's an important thing on defense, making sure that your body is there, but also when you see that a player is about to shoot, just kind of getting your stick on their stick, it really messes up the rhythm of a shot for an offensive player. They're doing a great job of it so far this quarter.
William and Mary would love the final tally of this first quarter. Barber in the back 15.
Offsides call there on Stony Brook. A little bit of some miscommunication when it comes to some subbing, it looks like. So, though they don't have it on the game clock, William and Mary will get a fresh restart of the shot clock.
35 seconds to play opening quarter. Good start to the contest for Road William and Mary. Looking to go above 500 in the Colonial after failing to win a CAA contest in the previous 3 seasons. Dratty serve his. Lollipop pass cross field is above the intended target. She wanted Serena Jacobs, but instead it becomes Stony Brook possession. They've got only 12 seconds to work with. Battle along the far sideline. Lindsay Rongo there getting involved. And I believe Rongo's going to take the yellow card.
Rongo will get a yellow card for a push to the back on that one. Referee saw some extension in her arms as she went for that ground ball.
Yellow card assist to Stony Brook, number 27.
The one final chance for the Tribe, and it's quickly thwarted by the Stony Brook defense. 4 seconds, Claire Levy looking up. And a whistle as Levy made her way across midfield from her near side official.
The player who got the yellow card, Lindsay Rongo, was walking off the field, and the play had restarted before she actually got off of the field. So the referees caught that a little bit late as the coaches were yelling from the sideline. So play will restart, and Seawolves will not get a fast break opportunity on this one.
Well, this will be probably the longest 3/10 of a second of your life here.
Just looking to make sure they're double counting everything. As a referee, you're running up the sideline, you hear things from the coaches, so you have to make sure that you're, looking around, making sure that you're calling the game safe and correct. Lindsay Rongo is sitting in the box on the sideline for her yellow card from a few minutes ago. So just reorganizing, making sure everything is good so they can make sure the right time is on the clock. And if the ball is released here and Stony Brook is going to try to shoot the ball from this 40-yard line, they have to make sure they're keeping a close eye on that.
Still on the cross of Claire Levy. She'll fling it toward goal, and the first quarter comes to an end. Stony Brook 4, William and Mary 2, the first ever meeting between these two programs. Stony Brook looks to keep the good times rolling here on Long Island, trying to get back into the win column. 4-2 score, Joe Spallina's group in front. More lacrosse coming up next on Lacrosse TV. Getting you set for the start of quarter number 2 here at Laval Stadium. Glad you're with us from Long Island's North Shore. She's Kylie Oldmiller, I'm Johnny Wincott. Stony Brook 4, William and Mary 2. As Jaden Hampel gets the instructions from assistant coach Greg Michelli, we dive into the huddle with Colleen Dawson, the 4th-year head coach for the William and Mary Tribe. And we told you, 0-10 in CAA play in her first 3 seasons. 2-2 this season, 2 wins over the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, definitely a team that's turned some things around this season in comparison to the last 2 in the CAA. And you can tell why. So far they're sticking around with the Stony Brook Seawolves in this first quarter, kind of controlling the pace on their offensive end of things, really taking care of the ball in certain situations, and goalie Elise Palmer has really stood out to me so far with a couple of really nice saves against a tough Stony Brook offense.
4 goals from 4 different Seawolves. It was William and Mary that drew first blood. And there are 2 goals coming from Sam Van Giesen and Sydney Whitworth. 2 underclassmen for a team that really has a mishmash of all classes. Again, 7-6 overall, 2-2 in the Colonial. A winning record away from Virginia, 3-2. It has been a great campaign for Colleen Dawson's group. And they are looking to keep the good times rolling with 5 wins over the last 7 games. Playoffs looming. 2 more Colonial Conference games after this one. Stony Brook, the big one next week, when they head down to Towson for a noon first draw against, right now, the 2 undefeated teams in the Colonial. Opening draw, second quarter, goes in favor of Ellie Macera. Now, despite the 4-2 Stony Brook advantage, it's been more than 75 minutes of lacrosse time since Ellie Macera has logged a point. For the average lacrosse player, that might not mean much. Ellie Macera is not your average lacrosse player.
Definitely a tough go for Ellie Macera and company when it comes to their earlier in the week loss against Rutgers, an unranked program. Again, something that very uncharacteristic for a Stony Brook team, but definitely something I think heading into May that this team will learn from some spots they could have been better in, some opportunities they could have finished or capitalized on a bit better. And you have to give credit to Rutgers, who played, the game of their lives earlier this week.
Now, to be fair, Macera still having an unbelievable season, on pace at the moment to become the Colonials' first player to average more than 4 goals per game and more than 5 draw controls per game. Obviously, the only thing Stony Brook cares about, winning each game, advancing in the tournament, try and get to a Final Four, get past that quarterfinal round. 15 seconds on the game clock, or rather shot clock. Jaden Hampel surveying in the back 15, now 8 seconds, it's Hart. McQuarrie, and a whistle. Well timed for Stony Brook with 5 showing on the shot clock.
Shooting space call for Erin McQuarrie. That was a great job at handling that full 85 seconds of a shot clock while they were player down. Lindsey Rongo still in the box. Erin McQuarrie winding up for the free throw.
Not much time to work with. 5 seconds on the shot clock. McQuarrie rips it bottom right corner. 7th goal of the season. Another senior making an impact. And for Erin McQuarrie, just her 2nd point over the last 9 games.
Erin McQuarrie is a player that you can definitely rely on. She's worked and worked and worked to get on this field and be shining in these moments. So you see this big wind up here. She's only got 5 seconds on the shot clock to work with, and it's a really well-placed shot. That's really difficult for Elise Palmer to get to. She either has to decide to go swing her stick under to make that save on the off-stick hip, or swing it over, and Erin just kind of freezes her. And that was a really, really nice shot there by number 20 in white.
You start to get a sense, Stony Brook beginning to find their footing. We should note, Lindsey Rongo took that penalty at the end of the first quarter, still not on the field, so Stony Brook getting the advantage while being disadvantaged. And just 91 seconds into the second quarter, largest lead of this first half, 5-2.
Stony Brook will be a player down for another 20 seconds as this draw sets up. That last possession was really well handled by them, being a player down on offense. Not easy to play against 7 defensive players when you only have 6 offensive players out there. And they'll only have to do so for another 15 seconds as they do grab this draw control.
Wide open. Mitchell deposits. I don't think she knew how open she was until she faced goal. 2nd goal of the contest for Morgan Mitchell. Stony Brook finding it, 2 goals in 15 seconds.
She definitely was shocked to see how open she was here. Ellie Macera bringing the ball down. You see that little flash cut, and her defender just kind of loses her. When she turns around, I think she's expecting a bit of pressure, but recognizes the open opportunity, and you got to cash in on that. And number 15 does exactly that.
More senior leadership for Joe Spallina's group. We told you both Mitchell sisters getting the starts today on Senior Day, which we can now safely use the term afternoon. I've botched that enough times. 12:02 Eastern Standard Time. And you wonder if the early start has any effect on either team. Called for an 11 a.m. first draw. We got it going at around 11:15.
Definitely as a player, those differences in game management and your pregame routine, and having senior day and 13 seniors to honor slows things down a little bit. So just kind of taking that first quarter to warm up, wake up, and in a tighter game that might not have been possible, but Stony Brook really starting to find their footing here.
They are indeed 4 consecutive draw controls for Stony Brook. Macera still going. Ellie Macera bounces for goal. The drought is over. 3 goals in 30 seconds for the Stony Brook Seawolves, starting to flex their muscles.
3 goals, 30 seconds, 2, maybe 3 of them were a player down. I think Lindsey Rongo was coming right back on the field as Ellie was charging down into this offensive third. And again, just another one of those opportunities where William & Mary's defense isn't quite settled yet as Stony Brook heads down into their offensive end, and they take advantage of it. right? It's not necessarily a textbook fast break, but when you recognize that those defenders are starting to look around and see where they're supposed to be in terms of positioning rather than finding ball, then a player like Ellie Macera can definitely capitalize on an opportunity.
And when we say the drought is over, jokes here. She has a hat trick in all but 2 games this season. But did go pointless against Rutgers. She's on the board here against William & Mary. 7-2 advantage for Stony Brook. Fewer than 2 minutes into the second quarter. Verhulst had it at first. Dislodged. Recovered. Claire Levy accelerating near side. Angles toward the center point. Drop pass Hampel. Finally corralled. Shooting. What a save. Stony Brook will emerge with another opportunity out of here. And if that wasn't a save by Palmer, it got ironed. Either way, Hampel from close quarters was shut down. She'll have another opportunity here on the free position shot. Hampel, bottom left corner. Makes no mistakes about it. And Jaden Hampel has another goal. Not easy to make the broadcasters look smart. This is why we spotlighted her in our broadcast opener.
Jaden Hampel making our job very easy today, but I like what she does here on the center hash. She winds up kind of leaning over with that runner's stance as if she's going to run the ball in. What that does to both the goalie and the 2 players that are playing defense around her who are about to slide makes them think that she's going to run the ball in. And what she does is she comes right off the whistle, she stands right up into her step down position, and again, just kind of catches everybody off guard. So really, really nice play there. And I think it's definitely a good tactic to add into your free position opportunities when it comes to practicing those if you're a young player at home.
So Stony Brook out of the gates here in the second quarter. We have played just 2 minutes and 11 seconds. And the Seawolves already have 4 goals. Hampel, by the way, 5 shots already in this contest. They've all been on goal. Kind of a microcosm for Stony Brook in the early going. 13 total shots, 12 have hit the target. A 5th consecutive draw control victory for Stony Brook, and that is a game changer. Maybe a 5th consecutive tally. Charging toward Cage. A lot of body banging just outside the crease. Looked like Caitlin Hart took the worst of it. No harm done. Stony Brook will get another free position opportunity.
Referees are going to call a cross the body check there. Caitlin Hart's going to get the second inside hash for their left hand.
Hart buries it bottom right corner. 32nd goal of the season for Caitlin Hart. And her 15th goal over the last 5+ games.
Definitely a dominant player when it comes to really just kind of creating opportunities. She drove hard on this one and she got the free position opportunity. And again, another one of those step down shots right off of the free position. Kind of winding up there, not really sure what she was going to do, whether she was going to run it in or step into it. And she's got a rocket of a shot and she was able to kind of put that in a great place.
Well, it's an 8-0 run by Stony Brook. And it's a 5-0 score here in the second quarter.
The draw unit of Charlotte Verhulst, as you see there, kind of chatting about some things. Charlotte Verhulst, Claire Levy, and Ellie Macera on the wings for her. Done a great job at kind of adapting to what was a little bit more of an even draw control score so far in this game in the first quarter. Really seems as if Verhulst is putting it where she wants to.
Claire Levy had it, sent to a knee, got back up, battle continues. Takes a bump from behind. And immediately located by the nearest official, Sarah Sapola is the guilty party. The 46th yellow card issued to the Tribe this season. Only Cincinnati has more in the country.
Definitely a cross-check to the back on that one. See this kind of loose ball push. So right in here, you see Sapola come in. Levy doesn't even have control of the ball, and she extends her arms. So when a player doesn't have control of the ball, they most likely don't have control of their own body either. Doesn't see her coming in. That's a yellow card for Sapola, and Stony Brook will be a player up for the next minute 50 as they head into their offensive third.
Talk about the importance of draw controls and Stony Brook's combination today between Verhulst and Macera. It's typically Sapola's gig as well. 11 draw controls a week and a half ago against Towson. Joe Spallina wants to talk things over. Fewer than 3 minutes into this second quarter. Stony Brook leading 9-2. We'll step aside, take the break with him right here on Lacrosse TV. Joe Spallina and company looking to keep the good times rolling in the second quarter. Fewer than 3 minutes into the second frame. 5-0 Stony Brook. They've rattled off 8 consecutive for a 9-2 advantage. She's Kylie Oldmiller. I'm Johnny Wincott. Glad you're with us here at Laval Stadium. Stony Brook looking for their 35th consecutive win on Long Island's North Shore. Only North Carolina has a longer active home winning streak. They got a big one right now, North Carolina.
North Carolina hosting #1 undefeated Syracuse right now. It's a tie game, 1-1. If you're a lacrosse fan, I hope you're watching this game that we're on right now, but maybe have that game on in the corner on a phone or a side tablet or something as well. That's a good one for the sport. Just some incredible athletes out there, and definitely a game that Stony Brook wants back in terms of, a couple weeks ago back in the Dome. Definitely want another chance at Syracuse, at the #1 team, and UNC the last couple of years having some tough draws against them in the NCAA tournament.
Stony Brook on the advantage for another 90 seconds. They take advantage. It is Kaylin Hart from the doorstep. 10-2 Stony Brook lead. 9 unanswered goals by Joe Spallina's group.
Definitely turned it on the offensive end. It's a hat trick for Kaylin Hart, and it's an off-ball one here. Quick ball movement. Jolie Creo on the backside. She draws across behind X, and Kaylin Hart just recognizes that her 2 defenders on either side of her are kind of just looking away from her. It's a perfect opportunity for that backdoor cut, slipping through, and giving each other some love there, lefty to lefty.
I'd have to say she probably deserves the love. 4th consecutive game with a hat trick. 5 out of the last 6, at least 3 goals for the senior from North Babylon. Back to the all-important draw control. Center circle at Wolfie. Stony Brook has not only scored 9 goals in a row, this is probably correlated, they've won 7 consecutive draw controls.
Definitely correlated. I think they've definitely had some chats on the sideline with assistant coaches, Sydney Pareca and Christina Esposito, just about some different things in terms of strategy and putting the ball in different places. William & Mary's draw group is definitely battling on the ground balls and making Stony Brook work for it. But the way that the draw control group as a whole is working together, boxing out for each other, communicating, even I can tell from up here in the broadcast booth that it's been successful so far this quarter.
We gave you the numbers early. William & Mary has not been particularly good at the draw controls this season, but they split the first 6, 3-3 today. Ever since then, it's been all Stony Brook in most statistical departments. Hart stays with it, feet to the front. Mitchell, the twisting shot, shut down by Palmer. Contact behind the cage.
That'll be a yellow card on a defensive player as she tried to fight through the pick set by Jolie Creo. It'll be on Vesquenza. As you look behind the cage here, Hart picks up the ball, drives through. Jolie Creo steps in to create a pick opportunity. And as Vesquenza tries to get through that pick instead of getting around it, just kind of extends her arms right through the pick. Another player up opportunity here for Stony Brook. They have a fresh 90 on the shot clock due to the penalty.
By the way, now 47th yellow card on William & Mary this season. Depending on what's going on with the Bearcats of Cincinnati, they may now have the most yellow cards in the country. Stony Brook looking to keep their feet firmly on the gas pedal. Sidewinding tally. Palmer may have had a piece of it, goes head of bounds along the far sideline, or rather the end line. Plenty of time for Stony Brook. 100 seconds remaining on the advantage. 65 showing on the shot clock. Hart drops it off goal line, extended to the near side. Quick stick shot, it's in. And yet again, Stony Brook takes advantage on the man advantage. 10-0 run for Joe Spallina's group.
Second assist in a row for Jolie Creo. Some really quick ball movement here. kind of passing down to that low left. And again, Morgan Mitchell just being so sneaky off the cut. She recognizes the opportunity that when the ball is in the air, the ball is moving from player to player on her team. That's when the defensive players are also going to be shifting their gaze, which means those off-ball players that are supposed to be marking number 15, Morgan Mitchell, are going to kind of lose sight of her for a second, and she is just so good at finding those opportunities.
Boy, is Stony Brook happy to have Morgan Mitchell back on the field. Granted, wasn't gone for very long with the injury. It looked serious for a moment. And after a few minutes back on the field, and boy, oh boy, the senior providing again for Stony Brook. Mitchell and Hart each with hat tricks. 2 out of the 13 seniors being celebrated today on Long Island. All right, Stony Brook's got 2 streaks to keep alive here. The goal streak, it's a 10-0 run. And the draw control streak, it's 8 in a row. Flung to the right.
You jinxed him.
Johnny the Jinx. And Traddy wins it. Well, it depends who's listening. If you're a William & Mary fan, now you're praising Tony. So for the first time in the second quarter, William & Mary sets up shop on the right side of LaFalle Stadium. Traddy spinning, pass in front. The shot was not clean. Jacobs from close quarters. And it sailed over the cage. Stony Brook takes it back in the form of Ella Whitehouse.
Nice backup there as a defensive play. Gonna look to get this ball safely out of their defensive third. Lexi Correa, another senior, getting lots of minutes here today on senior day. A player that, as you can tell as she runs through the sideline, definitely brings some energy to the group, to the locker room. So her teammates are getting fired up for that clear.
Verhulst, it's all seniors. Verhulst scores! Senior to senior to senior. 11 consecutive goals for the Stony Brook Seawolves. It started in the back end with the grad Hecht, and it's finished in the front end with the senior Verhulst.
Lexi Correa with the pump up from the sideline. Run right past your own sideline. That's the best way to get yourself hyped up to get through 4 defenders on the clear. She does exactly that. Finds an open Verhulst, who makes a beautiful split dodge to her left. Has enough room to bring it back to her right. And that's a goal that will put Stony Brook up by 10, get the running time on senior day.
Timeout on the field. We will take it with him with 9:27 remaining in the first half. 10-goal cushion for Stony Brook. It's 12-2 on Lacrosse TV. "11 unanswered goals by the Stony Brook Seawolves." Charlotte Verhulst involved in all the action. Stony Brook's draw controls leader with a 12-2 advantage in favor of Joe Spallina's group. 11-4 at the center circle. Verhulst the most recent tally for Stony Brook.
She's been a player that's been a part of this draw unit for the last couple of years for Stony Brook, but has really stepped up in a lot of different places this year in 2023. She's been an offensive threat. She can finish big-time free position opportunities. She clears the ball up the field and is a big part of that Stony Brook zone defense. So she doesn't just have the responsibility right here at kind of directing this draw unit, as you can see here, and putting the ball to certain spots, creating opportunities on the offensive end for the Seawolves, but also just being an all-around midfielder this year. Has been really awesome to watch her step up in those roles.
Verhulst bats it toward the offensive zone, aided by Ellie Macera. Boy, oh boy, is Stony Brook feeling it. Achatella to the doorstep, a lot of body contact. The shot sailed over the crossbar. And an injured Seawolf on the play.
Charlotte Verhulst took some contact on that shot there. Ellie Macera up top also took some contact on a swing to the head. We'll see the replay here. Pass inside to Verhulst, and as the sliding defender comes across, just kind of comes across with no control of her feet as she comes through, and that'll end up being a check to the head.
So that was Paige Gilbert who was assessed the yellow card. It was just Gilbert and Verhulst who squared off at the center circle for the most recent draw control. Now it's Verhulst yet again, another free position opportunity. Already with a 12-2 advantage, Stony Brook pulls out and they will hit Morgan Mitchell.
They'll utilize the player opportunity in the full 90 seconds to get a better look at the cage and bring some clock time down as well in the second quarter, settle down a bit as well.
This time it'll be Kaylin Hart. Offset to the right hash, 10 meters out. 3 goals already for Kaylin Hart. Still 72 seconds showing on the shot clock. We'll see how Stony Brook plays it out. Hart the shot, and Palmer makes contact. High into the air and back down into the cross. Courtney Vesquenza, one of the 3 who has taken a yellow card today for William & Mary. And now William & Mary will have to try and complete a clear, playing 1 player down.
Elise Palmer's made some nice saves so far in this game. Definitely another big one there. She's got the ball in the back of her crease right now. As Stony Brook is a player up, so they do have a player. Morgan Mitchell chasing after Elise Palmer right now. Everybody else is marked up on the ride. Taking off 30 seconds of that shot clock so far and causing the turnover.
Hampel doing the dirty work in the red paint. And a new shot clock for Stony Brook, a fresh 90. But 40 seconds remaining now on the advantage. This was a 2-1 game in favor of William & Mary early in the first quarter. Good feed by Mitchell. Ellie Macera. Bar down. 12 consecutive for Stony Brook. And the lead grows to 11.
Ellie Macera was wide open on that cut. Again, just another opportunity coming from the backside. You see Erin McQuarrie here stepping in, swinging it. Verhulst swinging it one more. And you see down low, Ellie Macera sneaks around that crease. As her defender, who's closest to that crease, her eyes are up on the ball. So recognizing that defender's ponytail is towards her, she recognizes that her eyes aren't up on her as well. So that backdoor cut was really well played there by Ellie Macera. Even better pass there by Morgan Mitchell to keep her eyes up and see her streaking through the middle.
Well, just another day at the office for Ellie Macera. A multi-goal game. She has done that in all but 2 games this season. 13th game of the campaign for Stony Brook. 9-3 overall mark, 4-0 in the Colonial, their first ever season in the CAA. And a win today would bring them to 5-0 with that big showdown next week down in Maryland against Towson. With the 11-goal cushion, a running clock here in favor of Stony Brook. Verhulst and Gilbert still going at it. No love lost between the 2 draw control takers today.
Play will be even after that last goal there by Ellie Macera, so William & Mary gets a look at their offense for the first time in a couple of minutes in this quarter. And as you see, when you think about an offense, it's really about a groove when it comes to lacrosse. So the more offensive possessions you get, the more you play together, the more you figure out where people's sticks are going to be, who's feeling it, who's hot that day. And William & Mary just hasn't quite had the opportunity to do that yet so far in this quarter.
Kira Achitella spearheading the counter. Off to the left, it's Mitchell. Saved by Palmer. 7th time Palmer has come up with a stop here in the first half, and you wonder what the score might be if not for the performance of the sophomore. Rebounding from a tough week last week against George Washington. Good spin by Sapola. Interior feed for the freshman Dratty, didn't get there. Ellie Dillon involved in the action per usual. Stony Brook's defensive captain. And our near side official still barking some orders to the Stony Brook defense.
Waiting for that whistle restart. Heading out to Claire Levy, who doing what she does best. Wheels, as they call it.
After using the wheels, she dips the shoulder in wheels out to the right. From the back 15, it's number 15. Turning, spinning, Achitella, faced with a double team. Plops it down again at X. 1 minute to go on the shot clock for Stony Brook, approaching 4:30 here in the first half. With the 11-goal cushion and 11 consecutive for Joe Spallino's group. They'll have an opportunity at a dozen. Already a 4-point first half for Morgan Mitchell. more than any player on the field at the moment. Mitchell misses the net. Hard sidewinding tally from the senior. It's backed up by Stony Brook. It's like in the form of Jolie Creo, the grad student.
A little bit of a stack play up at the top. Bella Germani on the drop. Freshman from Northport, New York, getting some time on the offense here for the Seawolves, but picked back up by Erin McQuarrie.
Kaylin Hart fell down as she was taking the shot. One of the easier ones into the body of Elise Palmer. And still a chance for William and Mary to get on the board in the second quarter. Fewer than 3.5 minutes remaining. And they've got to complete a clear. Good feed by Miranda Bate to find a teammate in the offensive zone.
.60 seconds to work with here on this offensive shot clock. Again, just looking to get some touches, looking to get their offensive personnel in the right spots. Just trying to find that rhythm again, as Stony Brook's controlled most of this quarter.
For the first time today, we key in on Marisa Moyer, our broadcast spotlight. Number 17 in black with a hat trick against GW last week. We have not called on her name much here for the Tribe. And again, only 2 goals in the first half. An opportunity here, and they take advantage. Bate buries her 7th goal of the season. And the Tribe have their first goal of the second quarter. The run for Stony Brook stops at 11-0.
A great play there by the player who originally caught the first pass in there, which I believe was Van Giesen. So as you see here, the feet inside to Van Giesen. She keeps her eyes up rather than turning and putting her head down to try to get to the cage for a shot. She turns, catches that ball inside the 8, handles the pressure, and sees a streaking cutter that is going to be really helpful in making sure that she continues the ball movement. I think that's a great way to beat that collapsing Stony Brook zone when it comes to, you know, the pressure that they've had success with so far today.
Official gearing us up for the 18th draw control of the first half. Verhulst muscles it to her left and takes it in cleanly. Minute and 15 seconds. Plenty of time for Stony Brook.
See Kira Achatella back out there for the Seawolves. Morgan Mitchell doing a lot of driving from that elbow. Just trying to find the right opportunity. In a situation like this, you're playing for the last shot of the quarter. That'll be a shooting space call for number 14, Kaylin Hart, who's been on the free position line quite a bit so far this game. This time she'll get the hanging hash. We'll look to see if she drives this one in or looks for a better opportunity on the outside.
13 goals from 6 different Seawolves. Hart took the step in, now draws it back. Tic-tac-toe passing, and Charlotte Verhulst the beneficiary. The seniors are thriving in the first half. Stony Brook's lead back to 11 at 14-3.
Really unselfish play here by Kaylin Hart. Fakes the free position, swings it out to Erin McQuarrie, who steps in, sees Charlotte Verhulst cutting from the other side of the 8. They're fired up about that one. That was some really pretty unselfish offense.
First half comes to a close. A 14-goal first 30 minutes for Stony Brook. 3 hat tricks. And on senior morning turned afternoon, all 3 hat tricks from seniors.
Really important to Stony Brook's culture. I think that's important to value and honor your seniors who have been here for a couple of years and have added so much to this program's success, especially here on this field. The seniors are getting some love from the little fans, the future Seawolves, right there as they head into the tunnel. I think it's important that they're having success here so far in the CAA matchup.
Halftime here at Laval Stadium, 14-3 in favor of Stony Brook. We'll be back with you in just a few minutes, getting you set for quarter number 3. Stony Brook and William & Mary, first ever meeting. 11-goal cushion for Joe Spallina's group. Now the good times roll on at Laval Stadium. Halftime here on Long Island's North Shore. It is senior day for Stony Brook. They were celebrating in a big way. 14-3 the score. At one point, a 12-0 run. 3 hat tricks. They all came from seniors. Morgan Mitchell heavily involved.
Morgan Mitchell heavily involved in a lot of the scoring, just like she was in that big game against Syracuse where she had 7 goals. She's been recognizing a lot of the open opportunities so far today. Off of the cut, kind of just streaking through when her defenders aren't quite paying attention. They're paying more attention to the ball, and her teammates are finding her. Ellie Macera also having a big day, another hat trick for her, kind of ending that scoring drought from earlier on this week against Rutgers.
14 Stony Brook goals came from only 7 different players in that first half. At one point, a 2-1 William & Mary advantage. But as we get you set for the start of quarter number 3, it is Stony Brook 14, William & Mary 3. We'll step aside one final time when we come back. Half number 2 here at Laval Stadium on Lacrosse TV. Joe Spallina's group looking to get back into the win column. A rare loss to an unranked opponent earlier this week against Rutgers has his team at 9-3 overall. Still unblemished in the Colonial at 4-0. And a 14-3 advantage as we start half number 2. She's Kylie Oldmiller. I'm Johnny Wincott, glad you're with us on Lacrosse TV. Spallina looks for his 185th win in his 12th season with Stony Brook. All he's done here is win. You played for him. A team that is looking to get back to the NCAA tournament, get past that quarterfinal round for now. They will focus on the task at hand, the William & Mary Tribe. First time these programs have ever got together.
Senior day for Stony Brook. You saw Coach Joe Spallina high-fiving goalie Shantna Hecht, who played the entire first half for the Seawolves, and then you'll see another senior in the cage, Haley Duchnowski, taking on the second half as well. So all of the seniors, all 13 seniors, have gotten some playing time so far today. Heading into this second half, we'll see who's still out there for the Seawolves.
Well, the all-important draw control and early movement on the Tribe. Nope, it's on Stony Brook. So William & Mary, like they did to start the contest, will take the opening draw. The best we saw the Tribe was early on in this contest. They had a 2-1 lead, but then Stony Brook rattled off 12 consecutive goals. The Tribe have taken 4 shots in the game, 3 on goal. They've all gone in goal. So as Kylie noted, the goaltender switch, but goaltender not necessary yet for Stony Brook. 0 saves in the first 30 minutes. Other end of the spectrum for Elise Palmer, the sophomore for the Tribe, who made 7 saves in the first 30 minutes.
Will definitely be important for the Tribe to see some more offensive touches. I think this first opening draw of the second half will be big for them. The second quarter, they didn't see much of the ball in their sticks or on their offensive end, as Stony Brook not only dominated the offensive end of things in the score sheet, but also the draw control unit.
Approaching 30 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Inside out feed for the Tribe, straight on its bait. Scored the most recent tally. And the pass goes awry in the back 15. Stony Brook will take over. That's Miranda Bate from England, who had the 3rd goal for William & Mary, joined by Van Giesen and Whitwer. The Van Giesen and Whitwer tallies were early in the first quarter. Just the 1 goal in the second quarter. Stony Brook dominating the middle frame in the second quarter, if you will. A 10-1 score in the second set of 15 minutes.
Another pass kind of slips out of the handle of Lindsay Rongo, defender for the Seawolves. So we're back in the offensive end for William & Mary. A double team coming on the end line. And we'll head the other way once more.
Big first half for Charlotte Verhulst. She will possess across midfield for Stony Brook. Team in white gaining numbers into the offensive third. 3 hat tricks, Verhulst 1 of the 3. Interior feed, behind the back shot by Caitlin Hart, won't go. I don't know if Palmer got a piece or if Hart just missed the net. Stony Brook will keep.
Backed up by Jaden Hampel. We highlighted her at the beginning of the broadcast. She has 3 on the day.
Been a good go at it for Jaden Hampel of late, with 15 goals over the last 5.5 games. This time it's Massera. Took a little contact just off the left hash, 10 meters out.
She'll get that first hash on the inside here. She'll set up for the free position opportunity. We saw a couple of these in the first quarter, not too many in the second.
Massera in on goal, deposits home. Ellie Massera making it look easy for Stony Brook. It is another hat trick. Make it 4 Seawolves with at least 3 goals. And a cushion grows to 12.
Ellie Massera, you said it best, making it look easy. She does this so well off the free position line. She uses her speed to get in front of that defender and then is able to also protect her stick by bringing it to the other side of her body with that face dodge. And really just does a nice job at shooting it around Palmer, who's been great in cage so far today.
Massera, the rare non-senior today, providing the impact. The junior from Eastport, who was the first underclassman All-America in Stony Brook's program history. We continue the rolling clock here, so long as it's a double-digit advantage for Stony Brook. Busy day today in the CAA. Hofstra's at Elon, nearing the end of the first half. Drexel at Delaware, also nearing the end of the first half. And Monmouth pays a visit to Towson. That game not until 2:30. Draw control scooped up this time by the road team.
Hertzberg with the control. She's been great for this William & Mary team so far in the draw controls. She was known for it in last year's tests, and she's been great so far today at battling with 2 of the best to do it on the wings. That's Ellie Massera and Claire Levy. She's got a couple of really gritty ground balls coming up with some possessions for her team.
Now 20 completed draw controls, 13 for Stony Brook, 7 for William & Mary. Tribe hit on goal. Whistle came just before the shot, which ended up sailing over Duchnowski. And much to the chagrin of Haley Dillon, free position opportunity forthcoming for the Tribe. It'll be the freshman Sydney Whitwer. Whitwer already with 1 goal in the contest, 13 on the season. 10 meters out, Whitwer, top right corner. William & Mary finds Twine for the first time in half number 2. And their first multi-goal scorer today is the freshman Sydney Whitwer.
Sydney Whitwer coming off that free position opportunity. She did this earlier in the contest, and she is so fast off the line. You see this here. She's got that running start. She gets inside and is able to just kind of beat Haley Duchnowski high. When you saw Duchnowski kind of dipping down, opening up that top shelf for her, really nice play by the freshman.
Whitwer, we noted earlier, from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, scoreless in her first 2 games of the season, and then had a hat trick at Old Dominion. Not a bad way to score your first and second and third collegiate goals all in the same contest. 8:30 to play, third quarter. Flung leftward by Verhulst, scooped up safely by Ellie Massera. 14th draw control victory for Stony Brook today. And it's the 9th time that Massera has scooped it. Made that note earlier today. Ellie Massera right now on pace to become the first player in Colonial history to average 4 goals per game, at least 4 goals, and at least 5 draw controls per game. There's only 2 games remaining after this one in the regular season.
Stony Brook looking to settle into their offense a little bit. They've had some success with these picks on the wings that they continue to send to the ball carrier. We saw a little bit of it between Ellie Macera and Claire Levy earlier on, and then on the left side as well with Erin McQuarrie and Kaylin Hart. This time it's Morgan Mitchell who gets a little bit of a high check. This time it'll be a shooting space call before Charlotte Verhulst was able to release that shot. Went wide, so she'll get another chance at it.
So 4 Seawolves with 3 goals, nobody with 4. Charlotte Verhulst toward cage. She's de-twigged from behind. Loses her stick, winds up right in the middle of the crease. Easily located by her 3-person officiating crew. And another penalty forthcoming to the Tribe.
Verhulst, as she drives in, you'll see that extension on the back there. That'll get her pushed into the crease. So she'll get another opportunity. This time around, it'll be on the center hash for the free position.
Miranda Bate, the guilty party. 4th yellow card of the contest for William and Mary.
Charlotte Verhulst with the smart play to pull that out. Full reset of the shot clock to 90 seconds as the yellow card was issued. So they'll look for a better opportunity, pass the ball around, find the layup, as Coach Spallino would say.
Well, they found another foul first.
Kaylin Hart this time. Again, another extension of the arms on defense. And Elise Palmer, as the goalie, plays so far out on that crease.
Feed to the front, scooped up by Hampel, and she puts home the rebound on what looked to be kind of a broken play, chaotic sequence. Jaden Hampel finds the loose ball and deposits home.
You said it perfectly, just kind of a broken play. Jolie Creo was originally looking for, I believe, Ellie Macera, who stopped her cut, and Jaden Hampel was in the right place, right time, picked up the ball, and was able to just kind of catch the defense who wasn't quite sure where the ball was in that moment of time, catch them off guard and finish. She's been great on her shots today, really capitalizing on making sure that her eyes are up, whether the ball is coming off the ground or it's coming off of a pass or she's driving off of a dodge. She's really seeing well around Elise Palmer and cage.
There's no better motivation than knowing you are the player in the broadcast open. She's the 5th different Seawolf to have a hat trick in this game, and we still have more than 20 minutes remaining in the contest. Just over 5 minutes to play here in the 3rd quarter. The clock continues to tick with the 12-goal advantage for Stony Brook, who started the week at number 6 in the country. Another ranked team will play on this field a little bit later. The Delaware Blue Hens, number 15 on the men's side, where Anthony Gallardi's Seawolves play host to the Blue Hens. 15th draw control win in 22 tries. Stony Brook navigates through traffic in the form of the senior Charlotte Verhulst.
Nice heads-up play there by Charlotte Verhulst, recognizing that pressure that was coming from an off-ball defender. Referee closest to us is going to call a foul for William and Mary. Seems as if she thought William and Mary was going to be offside, so it's an inadvertent whistle. Referees are going to chat a little bit about it, make sure the shot clock is at the correct time. Reset Jolie Creo on the far dot behind the cage. Referee closest to us is just at the table right now, making sure there's the correct time. 77 left on the shot clock for Stony Brook to work with.
Jolie Creo, the restart, defended by Jalen Locke. And Stony Brook into the offense, rotating clockwise near side to far. Ellie Macera bridges the gap to Creo at X. Spinning, Creo shooting and scoring. Incredible individual effort by Jolie Creo. And she RSVPs yes to the 17-goal fun. 13-goal cushion for Stony Brook.
A little bit of some dance moves there, and that's exactly what this dodge looked like. Driving up top, that inside roll, she really plans hard and fakes that top side, which gets her defender to really step and fall for that top side motion. Which opens up that inside roll. really beautifully done there by Jolie Creo with a little bit of a dance celebration after her dance dodge there.
9th goal of the season for Creo, and her first with Stony Brook. Her first season, that is, with Stony Brook. Last year's Patriot League points leader with Holy Cross. When you join a team like Stony Brook, your points might go down just by sheer talent. A lot of people that are going to take shots and get goals. But Creo has been an instant impact for Joe Spallina, just as he had hoped.
She has 2 assists in today's contest. Definitely a player who can be a bit of a quarterback in a sense in certain plays against certain defenses for this team. Something that this offense definitely needs when it comes to, you know, having a lot of balance in terms of Dodgers. You have Hampel as a Dodger, you have Ellie Macera, you have Kaylin Hart, all of who can also finish off ball. Jolie Creo proving she's just as much a Dodger as she is a feeder.
Well, the Tribe looking to get back on the board with some form of a response here in the final 2+ minutes. Stony Brook not making it easy on him. And all the heavy hitters remain out there for Joe Spallina's group. Even in this 13-goal game, with just over 2 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. Pass was deflected en route to the intended target. Looked like they wanted Van Giesen in the interior, which is not a bad option for William and Mary. Already a goal today. And Stony Brook looks to counter. Ill-advised pass taken right back.
Haley Duchnowski looked as if she keeps looking at her stick a little bit there. Looked as if she kind of just threw that pass to the ground. Didn't end up where she wanted it to, so we're right back on the side for William and Mary.
Bait. Slippery when possessing. Lollipop pass to the center point. Did get to the intended target, Moyer. And the freshman will have an opportunity. Reposition shot, Marisa Moyer, fresh off the hat trick against GW.
Off the initial dodge, she kind of pumps that fake. Haley Dillon was in shooting space, so she'll get the free position from that second inside hash.
Moyer on the move, shot was deflected. And Duchnowski takes it in. I don't think she'll be credited with a save there. Stony Brook, for what it's worth, no saves today still. Oh, McQuarrie went for the home run feed. It's intercepted. Great defensive play by Donovan. And still 45 seconds to play with here for William and Mary.
A whistle, which will reset William and Mary at the 12 there.
Clock still ticking, though, against the Tribe here. Down to 30 seconds. The words are go, go, go from the Tribe bench just below us. Final 20 seconds, 3rd quarter. Whitwer takes it behind the cage, finds an open teammate, shot Nicole. Sarah Sapola roofs it just over Duchnowski. And just before the quarter closes, William and Mary gets their fit tally.
Right at the buzzer and right as the rain is starting to pour. It's the freshman Whitwer with the really nice heads-up play, a great feed right at the bottom of that shot clock. Zapola able to finish with a bit of a pump fake right around Duchnowski.
We will step aside, get you set for quarter number 4 when we come back. Stony Brook 17, William and Mary 5. First ever meeting between the two programs right here on Lacrosse TV. Getting you set for the start of quarter number 4 here on Long Island's North Shore. Stony Brook with their foot firmly on the gas pedal, a 17-5 advantage over William and Mary. First ever meeting between these two programs. She's Kylie Oldmiller, I'm Johnny Wincott. Glad you're with us. Final 15 minutes. And Stony Brook on the verge of their 35th consecutive win at Laval Stadium. If the result holds down in North Carolina, Stony Brook would own the longest active home winning streak in the country. That now an 8-4 score in favor of the Orange. Charlotte Verhulst doing Charlotte Verhulst things, picks up another draw control. Stony Brook's 17th win in 25 tries.
Verhulst has really been taking control of that draw unit so far today. A little bit of a slow start in the first quarter, but right into that second quarter and beyond, they have just kind of put their foot on the gas pedal, not only on the offensive end, but just taking control of draw possessions. You tell Verhulst is really feeling where she's putting the ball to her players on the draw circle. Hart with another opportunity coming across the middle, known for that shot.
That was the 10th shot of the day for Caitlin Hart. This one behind the back from Creo. And a violation on the plate. It's going to be on Stony Brook.
It'll be a dangerous follow-through on Jolie Creo.
That might be a first for this season for us. So Stony Brook was on the offensive. Yeah, now it's William and Mary's turn. They did get the final goal of the third quarter.
Dangerous follow-through.
And it's almost like Kylie's done this a time or two. 2 minutes assessed for the dangerous follow-through.
Unfortunately, I have.
Were you on the bad end of the follow-through, or?
Well, I'm an attacker, so.
You were the one following through.
It's unfortunate sometimes, but right play called there by the referees, keeping everybody safe.
2-on-1, short-handed. Ellie Macera scores. Stony Brook goes down a player, but they get another tally. 18 goals and a 13-goal cushion here in the fourth quarter.
Looks as if those two have done that 2v1 drill before, probably have plenty of time at practice, and they make it look easy. See Ellie Macera, she's been so consistent in terms of transition goals. She does a great job there at being able to finish that 2v1 opportunity right off of a kind of a broken play.
So Ellie Macera with 4 goals and an assist today. Bounce back performance after the 12-7 loss against Rutgers, where a rarity. Macera was held scoreless, no points at all, no goals, no assists. 16 of the 18 Stony Brook goals have come courtesy of only 5 different players. Macera 4, Hampel, Mitchell, Hart, Verhulst, all 3. Back to the center circle for a duel at Wolfie.
That'll be an alternating possession that will end up with Stony Brook. The ball didn't go high enough above the shoulders of the 2 draw takers. Stony Brook, as they look to settle into offense, when it comes to these game managing situations, just kind of trying to shed some clock, some game clock. Also, you see senior Kelsey Lenegro heading in there, number 16, to finish out the penalty. She'll be the one who comes back in to make the play even. Zoe Kruger on the left side as well.
Hertzberg with his scoop. Hertzberg with a clear. Van Giesen couldn't get a clean hold of it. Numbers for William and Mary, and a chance just in front of the crease. A bounce shot that sails wide.
Backed up well here. And William and Mary getting a couple more offensive possessions this quarter and into last quarter than they had in the second quarter. Second quarter was where we saw a big difference in terms of opportunities for Stony Brook on the offensive end, and William and Mary didn't quite have their options to settle into their offense. So seeing a little bit more of that so far in this fourth quarter.
40 seconds on the shot clock, plenty of time to work with for Colleen Dawson's crew. They average 10 goals per game, 93rd in NCAA, but only have half of that today. Great move, shot is in. Whistle before the shot, will they count it? They will.
It'll be Sapola on the score, excuse me. Just taking advantage of a situation that was a little bit unsettled there for Stony Brook. There was a bit of a knockdown, and then they kind of, right off of it, were able to, excuse me, that was Moyer on that finish. Again, as you mentioned, Johnny, our highlight from the beginning of the broadcast.
Well, she knew. She knew that she was the player spotlight today, needed to perform. Well, Moyer deserved it. The freshman who had the hat trick effort against George Washington. Again, that was a 10-9 win for William & Mary. They trailed 9-5 at halftime and outscored them 5-0 in the second half. They are perfect at 4-0 in games decided by 1 goal this season. 2 of those games in overtime. Now the rains have started to come down in a big way here at Laval Stadium. Easiest way to tell is always look down at the crowd. All of a sudden, everyone starts hustling back for cover. Clock continues to tick, though, with a 12-goal margin. Scooped up by Claire Levy. And Stony Brook right back into their offensive zone.
Zoe Kruger, Kelsey Lenegro, Charlotte Verhulst over to play some two-man with Ellie Macera. We see Stephanie Doyle and Alex Fusco up top, and Kaylin Hart. That'll make up the offensive sets for this fourth quarter so far in this possession. Referee on the far side down near the crease will call. Believe that she was calling that the player down low was inside the crease for too long. 3 seconds call, so they'll reset.
On Kelsey. The doorstep, goal. Kelsey Lenegro. The exclamation point on a sensational senior day for Stony Brook. 19-6.
Kelsey coming back for her 5th year, has had an incredible career, just being a really, really great teammate and an incredible player out there on the field. All smiles, all of her teammates coming over to celebrate her. She is the definition of a Stony Brook senior. Excited to see her finish on her senior day.
Fifth goal in the career of Lenegro, 3rd of the season, and a late goaltender change here for William & Mary.
Number 11, Claudia Hogue.
And Claudia Hogue, the Long Island native, is senior. And she will get a good round of applause here from the Tribe faithful, has taken over for Elise Palmer. We noted it was Marin Wilhelm, the freshman, last week, the second half shutout. But it's going to be the New Yorker who gets the nod here for the final 7 minutes, Claudia Hogue.
Saw the heard the round of applause there. A bunch of family in the stands. The Hogue family is a very talented lacrosse family across a bunch of cousins and sisters. Katie Hogue at UNC, Caroline Hogue at Johns Hopkins, Claudia Hogue here in Cage today for William & Mary.
Well, if she grew up trying to stop shots from Katie Hogue, I can't imagine she has much confidence. Interception by Stony Brook. Erin McQuarrie doing some of the dirty work. Final 6 minutes and 30 seconds. What's become a rather sloppy Laval Stadium turf, with the men's team getting ready to take to that turf in about an hour and a half. Number 15, Delaware awaits. Big Colonial matchup on the men's side. Stony Brook on the verge of their 65th consecutive conference victory, with the last 5 coming here in the Colonial.
Another yellow card here issued to William & Mary. That one's going to be Caroline Donovan. We'll take the yellow. Looked like a bit of a hold there on the extension that the referee was standing right there watching. So Zoe Kruger is going to get the opportunity on the first inside hash.
Freshman Kruger against the senior Hogue. Kruger can't get the shot off.
Yellow card assessed to William Mary, number 3, Caroline Donovan. Game is nothing.
A nice check there. Good defensive play for William and Mary, but it's going to be picked back up for a second opportunity by Zoe Kruger. That's why you ride right there.
Still 100 seconds remaining on the penalty. So Stony Brook could tick away at some of this clock, maybe go for goal once more. Some of the heavier hitters now out for Joe Spallina. Deeper depths of the bench. As the pass did not hit the intended target, scooped up in the back 15 by Stony Brook. Close quarters behind the back effort by Kaylin Hart, won't go. We've seen those before from Hart. A couple of different Seawolves have tried that today, all unsuccessful. Everything else, though, pretty successful today for Joe Spallina's gang. 13-goal cushion. Season high in goals for Stony Brook is 20 in their win at Monmouth about a week and a half ago. Here is Barber. Spinning at the 15, Barber is called for the foul.
Offensive foul on the charge. That's Mackenzie Mitchell with the big-time play. You saw her teammates getting amped up for her on that one. Again, just another one of those players, a senior being recognized today, who's been an incredible teammate for 4+ years. Awesome to see her having success and a big moment right there.
Smooth sailing for Stony Brook with just over 4 minutes remaining after Claire Levy does the work through the neutral zone. 55-second shot clock. Get tick away at some of this clock. The rolling clock, which we've had for the entire second half. No-look shot. It is down. Back-to-back goals by Kelsey Lenegro. And this one comes in style. Someone does get it done.
You do have the jinx today. Kelsey Lenegro, second goal today, and a little bit of a Twizzler shot on that one. She comes from that low left side, and as she comes through here, she's a right-handed player, so since she's on that low left side, instead of putting it in her left hand, she brings it across her face. That little twisty move, that's called the Twizzler. Her back is to the cage and kind of just using a little bit of that extra deception in a different spot. I've seen Kelsey do that a bunch of times, and it's awesome to see it pay off. Just having some fun out there.
Hey, you're on TV. So the Twizzler, more having to do with the word twist, nothing to do with the licorice.
I wish it had something to do with the licorice.
Oh, no.
It's one of my favorites, but kind of just sounds fun, I think.
The Twizzler. So after the Twizzler, which served as the 20th goal, Stony Brook is tied a season high in that department with their 20-3 win at Monmouth. Just over 2.5 minutes to go here at Laval Stadium. And again, if that result holds at University of North Carolina, the nation's longest home winning streak will belong to Stony Brook. Hertzberg on the draw control. She's been active in that department today and all season. Nearing 35 now for the 2023 campaign.
She has 6 draw controls on today's game. Again, just being dominant there for William and Mary. It's really important to have those players who are willing to go all out when it comes to gaining possessions and going for those 50-50 ground balls. And Caroline Hertzberg is definitely one who does that for the Tribe.
Well, after Stony Brook finally picks up their first save today, they're on the attack. Atchatello's shot is shut down by Hogue. And you can hear the support from the Hogue contingent below us from Matituck. That's her second save after Stony Brook picked up their first in the form of Haley Dugnowski. A little momentum for the Tribe here, despite the 14-goal deficit. And 80 seconds remaining in the contest. William and Mary remains on the road next week. They go to Monmouth, another 11 a.m. start. And we talked about the big one for Stony Brook. If Towson does take care of business against Monmouth later today, it'll be Stony Brook at Towson. Both teams at 5-0. The winner will have first place by the end of the day next Saturday.
Kira Atchatello with a nice play there on defense. A little bit of a knockdown and then comes up with a gritty ground ball. heading back the other way. We'll see if Stony Brook's able to just kind of hold on to the ball for the last 43 seconds of this contest.
We got Twizzlers, we got gritty grounders, and we've got Claire Levy through the seam, taking some hard contact after she had distributed to the goal line, extended on the far side. Stony Brook training staff was out there earlier in the first half to tend to Morgan Mitchell. We'll take a look here. When you have that much speed, the contact is that much more forceful.
Definitely a lot of speed coming into this one. Claire Levy's known for her speed. Good to see her getting up there. Referees are going to call a charge on that call as the defender's feet were standing as she ran into her. Hoping that 42's all right as she runs off the field. And another charge call heading back the other way.
Stony Brook wanted the charge. A little bit of leeway there as William and Mary thought they were getting away with it. That was drawn by Ali Macera. Final 5 seconds for the Seawolves. Looking for a season high in goals, and they won't get it. Eventful to the bitter end for the Stony Brook Seawolves. And Joe Spallina's group is back into the win column. They have won 65 consecutive games against conference competition, a 20-6 victory over the William and Mary Tribe.
Second quarter stood out to me. I thought that's exactly where the Seawolves put their foot on the gas pedal and didn't look back. They started to be dominant as a draw unit, and they capitalized on a lot of opportunities on the offensive end in that second quarter, which gave them that 12-goal lead and that cushion to be able to see a lot of awesome players out there who have been so great for the program, giving some seniors some love here on Senior Day at Laval Stadium.
So the 6th-ranked team in the country, now 10-3 overall, still unblemished in conference play at 5-0. Joe Spallina, athletic director Sean Hilburn, all smiles for good reason. They'll look to make it 2 today at Stony Brook, with the men's team taking to this field in about an hour and a half. 5 hat tricks today for the Seawolves. Nobody with more points than Ellie Macera. 4 goals and 2 assists. Big bounce-back game for one of Stony Brook's top players. It is another successful Senior Day on Long Island with a 20-6 victory for Stony Brook. Big thank you to our producer, Brian Kazaks, touching all the right buttons in our Stony Brook studios, and our hard-working Stony Brook crew. Well, we'll have part 2 coming up for you eventually. For now, Stony Brook the winners, a 20-6 final. They are still perfect in conference play. Next week, a 12 p.m. start at Towson for the battle for first place. For my broadcast partner, Kylie O'Miller, I'm Johnny Wincott. Stony Brook 20, William and Mary 6, your final from Laval Stadium.